All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with my violet. Okay, I'm gonna go in with violet and start adding shadows. Okay, and everything is gonna have a shadow on it because of the way the light's hitting it. So this is natural light. It's gonna create, like, that's why you get these like really soft light bursts in here. It's because of the natural light for the people that are interested in taking photography. Okay, and photography is important to your image, because if you're drawing from a reference image, then you have control to, like, if you're gonna have a good photo, you should have a good drawing. All right, if you just even follow the process of this, you're still gonna have a good drawing. So now I'm going to start adding in the value. Notice how I'm not putting too much detail in it yet. I'm just getting all the shapes and I'm getting all of the basic midtones, and now I'm just going to start getting the shadows, and I'm going to work from like cool to dark. Okay, so I added in my darker midtones just with the violet colored pencil. Something I want you guys to see also, look at like the repetition of these different shapes. It doesn't matter that they're all not exactly triangles, okay? But you have these little shapes spread throughout, okay? That's actually going to be a balance in value, okay? Because you're going to have, when we add the watercolor, you're going to have this, like, these dark, violet repeated shapes throughout, okay? So if there was all shadow, that's why I like flash photography, or if you like, you know, if you don't take a picture in good lighting, that's why like everything looks like harsh, because all the light is like in one spot, and that's where your eye is going to get focused on. So you want to make sure you have like a good spread of midtones. Also, another reason why I like going dark to light is that when I was shading, I kind of noticed that like I messed up some of my areas. Okay, I messed up this area down here. I tried to extend the orange over here. So if I'm going in darker, I can just go over the light spots. That's going to be a lot easier than me trying to add highlights to some of these dark spaces. Okay, so again, this is just me working with these Crayola watercolor pencils. All right, and you see that it's starting to it's starting to take form. I'm still not done. There's still other steps, but now I can like kind of start going in and stop holding my pencil like this and start holding my pencil like this. Okay, because now I'm really going to get in and start shaping up the lines real nice, real slow. And I'm really gonna, this is the part that it's really important to look at your reference image the whole time. Okay? If not, it starts coming like this. Okay? This is 3rd grade. Okay, this has to be high school. We gotta improve a little bit. This is good for sports, it's good for your hand-eye coordination. And you have a lot of time on your hands. So you might as well, practice your drawing. So that right there, like if I see like effort like this, you see like a couple different values. I see, importantly too, something that I almost forgot to mention, I keep wanting to say it every time I go do the time lapse. Notice how all of my lines when I'm shading are all going in the direction of the fruit here. Okay? All the lines are going in the direction of the fruit, so that's important. Okay? Because when I go to shade, that's how I'm gonna shade. I'm gonna shade the oranges the way that they're going, and you can kind of start noticing on the fruit like the way that they would want to go, like if you were to paint it three-dimensionally. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to blend in my, I guess we'll call them light darks or dark midtones. So I'm going to start blending in the violet that I did. Okay, so now I went in and I wanted to add like my actual like hues. So I got in like some lights, I got in some darks, and now I'm going in and adding in those like real strong midtones. The midtones that I really want to spread throughout. I want to look for balance in that. So that's where like the reds, you see like the reds are going to be big like around there. I can even, if it feels a little heavy up here, I can also, knowing what I know about brown because of color theory, okay, there is all of the primary colors are going to make up brown. So I can go in and I can add reds to my bowl. Okay, and that would just be me trying to like make a better composition because I think it's a little heavy with the reds over there. So I'm going to add a little bit of the reds in the bowl. I'll blend them in. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start adding detail now. Okay, so now's the part that I really go in, and it's kind of like we were taught initially how to draw, like really, really like fine details. And I'm going to do that with black. And you have to be careful with black because black is going to make everything muddy. Okay, so that's why I kind of like do it last. I'm actually, before that, I'm going to probably add in my extreme highlights. This probably has to dry a little bit, but I'm going to do that with a white colored pencil. You can also do it with chalk. You can do it with an eraser, but that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to add in my highlights. Okay, and all I'm using is this. This is a Prismacolor pencil, so it's not going to be watercolor. But I actually like that mix. I like being able to, and I'll probably add it a couple times, but I'm going to probably go back and forth now with my highlights and probably like a black colored pencil. I'll look for something similar to this, or I can also use a Sharpie. If you're doing it in graphite, don't mix those mediums, okay? So just stay with graphite and try to get, if you brought your pencils home, try to get the 6B or something along that lines. It's going to be really dark. Okay, and you're going to add in your really extreme blacks with that. I'm going to add my highlights in with this. You can add, if you're doing graphite, with an eraser. And I'm going to really go in and find the lightest parts. And this is where my style kind of gets a little different than some, but we'll see if you guys can do it however you want. It's the same basic idea. Okay, so I was on the phone a little bit, so you guys probably I was doing different things. So just know you can always like walk away from it and then come back to it. You can do other things while you're doing. I'm listening to music over here. You can put in your headphones. You can sit outside. You can really do it anywhere. So I went in and I added in my darks. Alright, and I went in and I blended it with the water so the darks kind of sit there. You want to really be careful about blending your darks because, if you're doing it in paint, it's going to make everything muddy. If you're doing it in graphite, you have a little more freedom to use your eraser. I'm doing it in paint, so I got to be kind of careful about those areas. I'm looking at when I'm doing my darks, I'm looking at a lot of the negative space where it's black. And I'm trying to just reinforce those negative space shapes that I did. So also, I think I just kind of like threw a wash in on the back just to kind of show like maybe which way the light's coming, which way the light's hitting it, try to cast a little shadow in the background. I'm going to touch that up a little bit. But I was on the phone, so I didn't want to really stop the video. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with a black thin point Sharpie. If you're doing this in graphite, then just sharpen a pencil really, really good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to just define where things are overlapping. It'll give it like a really, really nice, it'll look like kind of a shadow. We started talking about that with the chair project. I'm going to define where things are overlapping. I'm going to add in some cross hatches and some stippling for just additional value and maybe like a little bit of texture in there. Unfortunately, I'm going into the pineapple with this, and I'm going to just try to shape up a couple things and that, whatever. And that's how I'm going to do. This is going to be one of the finishing things. Okay, once I get to this point, then I'm at a point now where, you know, I'm almost done. I'll probably go in with some highlights again. I'll probably go in and shape up like some different areas. It's all different. It's all a work in progress. But at this point now, I'm going to go in and start adding some detail. Alright, here we are. Now I'm back, day 2. Okay, I had to put it down for a little bit because it was getting a little frustrating, especially with the pineapple. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to start working on it. So here's where we're at. Okay, you see that I have the extreme darks that I started putting in. I'm probably not going to touch them that much more. I'm probably just going to start adding in a lot of the detail, like in here in the pineapple. I'll probably add like some of the, just a little detail up there. I don't want to put too much because, I don't know, sometimes less is more. It could also get like distracting up at the top. So I want to make sure like your eye is going to be able to travel through the whole thing. Remember, like I said in the beginning of the video, I never really claimed to be the best at drawing, but like a couple techniques that you can learn that can really like help make your drawing a lot better. And then knowing about color theory and knowing about composition can help. If you don't have a lot of technique, then it can help get you some of that technique. Here we have a smoothie in the background. Okay, it's important to stay healthy and exercise. So what do I got in here? I got some kale, I got strawberries, blackberries, and some vanilla yogurt with a little bit of milk. Okay, so stay healthy. Make sure you guys put on a good soundtrack so you guys can get into your drawings. Just take your time. Like I said, this is day 2. Sometimes you got to put it down, step away, and then come back to it. So I'm going to work on the pineapple a little bit. I'll try to angle the camera down so you can see. Move my smoothie far away from my drawing. And